The first blow came from the mistress's manicured fist, a diamond ring slicing across Mia Reynolds's left cheekbone like a razor. The second was the heel of a stiletto driven into her temple while she tried to protect her 8-month pregnant belly. Marcus Reynolds, 35, stood in the doorway of their penthouse and did nothing. He watched, arms folded, as his 28-year-old mistress, Sabrina Cole, screamed that Mia had ruined everything by daring to exist. Blood poured into Mia's eyes, the world blurred into red and black. She crawled across Italian marble begging Marcus to help their unborn son. He lit a cigarette instead and told Sabrina to finish it. The last thing Mia saw clearly before everything went dark was her husband's cold smile. Mia woke up 3 days later in the ICU, both retinas detached, skull fractured in 2 places, and her baby fighting for life on a ventilator 1 floor below. The doctors were blunt. Even with multiple surgeries, she might never see again. Marcus never visited. He sent flowers with a card that read, "Get well soon," in Sabrina's looping handwriting. But Marcus had made one fatal mistake. He forgot who Mia's father was. Jonathan Hart had been a widower for 15 years, a quiet, gray-haired trial lawyer who never raised his voice and never lost a case. He sat by Mia's bedside for 72 hours straight, holding her hand while surgeons tried to reattach what was left of her sight. When the police told him Marcus had refused to press charges against Sabrina, it was just a domestic dispute, Jonathan closed his eyes, kissed his daughter's forehead, and made 3 phone calls. The first call was to the city's top retinal specialist, who flew in from Switzerland on Jonathan's private plane. The second was to a former client who happened to own the largest private investigation firm on the East Coast. The third was to the district attorney, a woman who still owed Jonathan her entire career. Within a week, Marcus lost everything. The investigators uncovered 5 years of embezzlement from the real estate empire Marcus had inherited from his own father. Sabrina, it turned out, had been helping him cook the books so they could run away together once the baby was taken care of. Security footage from the building's hidden cameras installed after a previous burglary captured every second of the attack in 4K clarity. Jonathan handed the footage, the financial records, and Sabrina's own text messages bragging about getting rid of the blind bitch, to the DA on a silver USB drive. Marcus was arrested at the country club during his Wednesday tea time. Sabrina was taken in handcuffs from a tanning salon, still in a bikini and screaming about her rights. The story exploded across every network. Millionaire watches mistress blind pregnant wife, then loses fortune in 48 hours. The company board, desperate to avoid scandal, forced Marcus to sign over his entire inheritance in exchange for dropping civil suits. The penthouse, the Hamptons house, the yacht, the private jet, everything went into a trust for Mia and the baby. Marcus walked out of jail on bail wearing an orange jumpsuit and paper shoes. Mia's sight came back slowly, painfully. First shapes, then colors, then, on the day her son was finally moved out of the NICU, the blurry but unmistakable sight of tiny fingers wrapped around her thumb. She named him Jonah, after her father. Marcus tried once to crawl back. He showed up at the hospital with cheap roses and cheaper tears, claiming Sabrina had brainwashed him. Mia, still bandaged, still learning to walk again, looked him in the eye with the one that could focus and said, "You stood there and let her take my eyes. There is no coming back from that." Security escorted him out. He hasn't been seen in the city since. Sabrina took a plea, 15 years for aggravated assault and attempted murder. Marcus got 12 for accessory and embezzlement. Their sentences began the same week Jonah took his first steps. 5 years later, Mia stood on the porch of the seaside house the trust had bought her, modest, light-filled, with a ramp for the days her vision still faltered. She watched Jonah, now 5, chase waves with his grandfather, both of them laughing so hard they fell into the surf. Her vision wasn't perfect. Bright light still hurt, and faces farther than 10 feet stayed soft around the edges. But she could see her son's smile, the exact shade of blue in the ocean, the way Jonathan's hair had gone completely white and he didn't care. Marcus's father, shamed into silence, died alone in a nursing home. Sabrina's last appeal was denied. And Mia, once told by doctors she would never see her child's face, now painted huge, vibrant canvases that sold for 6 figures, each one titled with a single word from the day her world went dark and then slowly, defiantly, came back. She called the series, Light After. Some losses are permanent. Some men take pieces of you that never grow back. But sometimes the universe keeps score in ways no courtroom ever could. Sometimes justice looks like a little boy with his mother's dark curls running into her arms, calling her name in a voice that proves every doctor wrong. And sometimes the greatest revenge is simply waking up every morning, opening your eyes however imperfectly and choosing to see the beauty anyway. Mia never looked back. She didn't need to. The view in front of her was everything the darkness once tried to steal.